When 72-year-old William Carter passed away, the entire Carter family gathered at the old family estate. His 3 children, Daniel, Rebecca, and Michael, hadn't been together in years. The funeral was quiet, but everyone knew the real tension would begin after the lawyer opened their father's will. William had built a successful business from nothing. Everyone expected a detailed will explaining how his fortune would be divided. But when family lawyer Mr. Harris unlocked the safe, he found only an unfinished document. The will listed every property and every beneficiary. But there was one shocking problem. It had never been signed. Silence filled the room. Without a legal signature, the document had no legal power. Old arguments resurfaced instantly. Daniel believed he deserved the business because he had worked beside his father. Rebecca insisted everything should be divided equally. Michael, who had lived far away, quietly wondered if their father had hidden another secret. Mr. Harris handed them a faded envelope labeled, "Open only if my will remains unfinished." Inside was a handwritten letter that would reveal truths none of them were prepared to hear. William's letter wasn't about money. Instead, it told the story of mistakes he had hidden for decades. He admitted that when the children were young, he spent more time chasing success than building relationships. Daniel had sacrificed his own dreams to help with the family business. Rebecca had always felt invisible. Michael had left home because he believed his father never loved him. William confessed that he had planned to rewrite his will after bringing the family together one last time. He wanted them to forgive one another before anyone received an inheritance. "I leave you no fortune until you remember that family is worth more than property," the letter read. The siblings were stunned. For the first time, they realized their father had understood every pain they carried, yet the unsigned will still created a legal battle. Without agreement, the estate could remain frozen for years. Rebecca suggested honoring their father's wishes instead of fighting in court. Daniel refused. Michael remained silent, wondering whether forgiveness was possible after so many years of distance. While cleaning the old house, Michael discovered a locked attic door hidden behind a bookshelf. Inside were dusty boxes filled with family photographs, journals, and old letters. One journal belonged to their late mother. Her words revealed the truth. William had never ignored his children because he loved them less. During those difficult years, he had secretly borrowed huge amounts of money to save the family home and pay for Rebecca's medical treatment after a serious childhood illness. Every sleepless night, every missed birthday, and every long business trip had been sacrifices made for his family. Daniel sat quietly reading page after page. His anger slowly turned into regret. Rebecca cried as she realized her father had carried guilt for years. Michael finally understood why William had always encouraged him to follow his dreams instead of staying home. The secret room held no treasure. Instead, it contained something far more valuable: the truth. For the first time since the funeral, the 3 siblings shared dinner together, speaking not about inheritance, but about memories they had forgotten. The court scheduled a hearing to divide William's estate according to inheritance law. Their lawyers prepared for months of arguments. But the night before the hearing, Daniel couldn't sleep. He reread his father's letter again and again. The next morning, instead of entering the courtroom, he turned to his brother and sister. "I'm done fighting," he said. Rebecca smiled through tears. Michael reached into his briefcase and produced a new agreement. Rather than allowing strangers to divide their father's legacy, they agreed to share everything fairly. Daniel would continue managing the family business. Rebecca would oversee the charitable foundation their mother had always dreamed of creating. Michael would restore the old family home so future generations would always have a place to gather. The judge approved their agreement within minutes. As they walked outside together, they realized they had inherited something much greater than wealth. They had inherited the chance to become the family their parents had always hoped they would be. 1 year later, the Carter family gathered once again, this time for a celebration instead of a funeral. The restored family home echoed with children's laughter. Old photographs filled the walls. Rebecca's charity helped hundreds of struggling families each year. Daniel transformed the business into one built on honesty and compassion. Michael turned the attic into a family museum, preserving every letter and memory. Above the fireplace hung William's handwritten words, "The greatest inheritance is not what you leave behind. It is the love you leave within the hearts of those who remain." The Unsigned Will had once threatened to destroy the Carter family. Instead, it became the reason they finally healed. Money eventually loses its value. Houses grow old, businesses change hands, but forgiveness, honesty, and unconditional love become treasures that never fade. As the family stood together for one final photograph, they realized their father's greatest gift had never been his fortune. It had been the lesson that no legal document could ever replace the bonds of family, and that was the inheritance that would last forever.